you try again and they're going to abort the baby. Takano, what's the plan? Like, what's going on, guys? Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I go by the name of Balisa and Tobela. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Can you please grow our family, guys, please? And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. Now on this video, we're going to call it part 1. On this video, I'm going to be sharing a story, guys, my experience, my pregnancy experience. Now, I'm hoping that this video will be educational. It's mainly for awareness, guys. I became pregnant, guys, when I was 31 years old. I became pregnant when I was 31 years old. Why? Because I felt it was time, I felt like, no, I'm old enough now, I'm working, I'm financially okay, and bringing another human being into this world would be a great thing, because I've always wanted to be a mother. And before becoming pregnant, I don't want to lie, I struggled a lot. It took me a long time, guys, to fall pregnant, and when it eventually happened, I was so happy. Sorry, I'm just drinking some coffee, it's a bit cold. So when it finally happened, we were so happy, guys. Like, we felt like God had finally answered our prayers, And another thing, I was getting old. People were telling me that, so you are getting old, child. You must make a baby because your time is ticking. Because apparently, the older you get, the harder it becomes to actually, like, the experience becomes more difficult, apparently. But so fine, I became pregnant. We were ecstatic. I could not wait to experience the whole journey of being pregnant, walking around with a big tummy, having cravings and vomiting. Like, I wanted to experience all of it. And it was exciting. It was exciting. So on a monthly basis, I would go for my checkups. I would go to a GP, a general practitioner. And reason for that is because my GP, guys, before I even became pregnant, I would go to, like, maybe when I had to go to the doctor for flu or anything like that, I would see pregnant women there. Like, he actually had, the doctor actually had a day for pregnant women and newborn babies. So I felt, no, I'm in good hands. So fine, sharp. So first 3-4 months, I was going for my daily, scheduled checkups, and everything was fine. The baby was growing, and but by month 4, guys, I was starting to feel pains. And my tummy, it was big, man. It was unusually, it was big. And even people would comment, you're 4 months pregnant and it's already this big. And mind you, I thought, what if I'm carrying twins? What if the doctor, when he's doing his scans there, he missed another baby, because the time was just growing, man. But no, it was just one baby, guys. By 4 months, I was experiencing pains. So my classroom, like I said, I'm a teacher, so my classroom, it's on the top level. So every time I would go to my class, it would be a struggle. By 4 months, guys, imagine 4 months, and already I was struggling climbing up the stairs. And I was thinking to myself, by the time I give 6-7 months, what's going to happen to my life? Like, but anyway, so I felt most pain when I had to go down the stairs. Like, every step I took, guys, I could feel it under my tummy, like it was so painful. And so because of that pain, I decided to go for a checkup, so I went to the GP. I don't know why no one advised me to just go to a gynae. Guys, it was my first experience it was my first pregnancy. Like, I did not know much. I don't want to lie. I don't know why I thought like that, but I thought that when you are pregnant, you only get to see a gynae when you get to the third trimester, like later in your pregnancy. That's what I thought. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know if I read it somewhere, but that's what I thought. And nobody advised me to go to a gynae instead of a GP. Guys, if you're pregnant, please go to a gynecologist. Go to a gynae, guys. So fine. So I'll go to my GP. When I get there, he checks my tummy, the baby, and then he says, no, everything is fine. Okay, sharp. Everything is fine. He says I'm probably experiencing the pains because the baby is growing. The baby's becoming bigger and bigger. Fine. By month 5, that's when we wanted to know the gender of the baby. So we found out that the baby was going to be a girl, and we were so happy because honestly, I wanted a baby girl, and the father of my child also wanted a baby girl, a little princess, So we were happy to find out that I was carrying a girl. Okay. Fast forward, month 6, when I went for my checkup, still doctor was saying everything is fine, child, your baby is growing, we are on the right track. Sharp. Now by month 6, I remember the schools were closing. It was in June, for the June holidays. So we closed on a Friday, and then and I had told myself that during those holidays I was going to do absolutely nothing. I was going to stay in bed. Like, my parents, my boyfriend, they were gonna have to take care of me because I was in pain. Like, I had pains, guys. Like, I was in so much pain. Like, it did not make sense to me. But fine. So the schools closed on Friday, and then I told myself that fine, I'm not gonna do anything now. So Saturday, I spent the whole day in bed, guys. Like, literally, I was in bed the whole day. I just got out of bed to eat or to go to the bathroom or to bath. That's the only time I got out of bed. But the majority of the day was spent in bed. Fine. And then Sunday morning, I'm 6 months pregnant. Sunday morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning. When I woke up, I felt like I needed to pee. So as I was getting out of bed, I was trying to hold the pee, but water was just coming out, and I was like, what the freak is happening? And at that time I was with my boyfriend, so I was like, what the heck is happening? Why can't I hold my pee anymore? So I rushed to the toilet. I sat on the toilet, and water was just coming out. Water, non-stop, guys. It was just coming out. And I call my boyfriend, oh, hey, guy, something is up. Like, my pee won't stop. What's going on? So then he decided to call my doctor quickly. He called the doctor, and the doctor was on some guys, go to the hospital right now. Sharp. We left the house. We stay in Virginia, so the hospital is in Welkom here. So we left the house. We drove to Welkom, and I had to put a mini blanket on my seat because water was still coming out, guys. So when we got to the hospital, we went to the maternity ward, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, went to the maternity ward, and when we got there, I was checked they asked us obviously what's wrong, and we just explained, we just told them what was happening, that the water is coming out, and then they asked me, is it still coming out? I'm like, yes, like I'm dripping, guys, like, can't you see I'm dripping? But anyway, so then the nurse told me to go to some room where she was going to check me. So she came in. I was there. I was seated there, and then she came in. I was on the bed. She checked. She felt she felt inside to check what was happening, only to find that my water had broke. There was absolutely no water left. So she was telling me that all the water is out. My membranes had ruptured, guys. So all the water was out. So then they had to admit me. So I was admitted that very same morning. It was around 6 a.m. by that time. Fine. And then my doctor called, and then he said he will come check up on me later on. Fine. So I was admitted, and then a few hours later, around 9 a.m., 10 a.m., then the doctor arrived. So when the doctor arrived, he checked me, and then they scanned the baby. They did their thing there, scans and whatnot. They saw that the baby still had a heartbeat, but there was no water inside. Like, the baby was lying on my bladder. Like, there was no water inside, guys. So fine. So then the doctor said I must just lie down, try to minimize my movements, try to stay in bed the whole day, and he would come back and check up on me later in the evening. Fine. And then after he left, guys, I don't want to lie to you, I was on my phone that whole day. I was on my phone on YouTube, trying to look for videos of women who went through a similar situation, who went through what I was going through at that time. I was actually looking for a good story, a positive story, something to uplift me, I wanted a good story where a woman gave birth at 6 months and she left the hospital with a healthy baby. Those were the type of stories I was looking for. But yeah, there weren't many of them. There were really not many good stories on YouTube. But there were a few good stories that I felt, you know what, this baby can make it, But then I was like, all these stories, all these good stories, all these good stats, these people are in America, a very developed country. And I am here in South Africa, guys. I'm like, what are the chances, So fine. And then I was doing my research, trying to understand what is ruptured membranes, what causes ruptured membranes, and so forth. And I could not really get an answer, But fine. Then few hours later in the evening, the doctor arrived around 8 p.m. My boyfriend was still there with me. He arrived. He did his scans. He checked the baby. Heartbeat was still strong, guys. Baby was a fighter, guys. Heartbeat was still strong. And yeah, so he just told me, you know what, I'm going to find out more about, he told me that he was going to find out more about my situation, because he had never had a patient who had ruptured membranes before time, type of thing. And I was like, so I'm going to be an experiment here, like, what's going on? I was uneasy when he said that. I don't want to lie. I felt like, God, I need you right now. Like, I had never prayed so much, guys. I was like, God, please give this man answers. Please show this doctor what to do, because right now you're my only hope, guys. I was like, you're my only hope, God, because wow. Fine. The following day, the doctor arrives. And then the doctor, he gives me some pills. He said apparently those pills they stop contractions from coming, because apparently once your membranes have ruptured, then chances of you going into labor are very high, you know. So fine. And all the things he was doing, they were things I read about on the internet. So I felt like, is this man going home, going through Google and reading up on Google what to do and coming back and doing those things to me? I was like, what? Because everything that he was doing was something that I had read about, you know. But I was like, you know what, God, you placed this man here. You placed this man here. You made him my doctor for a reason. So, you know what, you will help him through this situation that he is going through, because he was also stressed. He had never experienced such. So fine. So then he checks the baby, and then the baby was fine, and then fine, he left. Told me to stay in bed, not to move around. The only time I was allowed to get out of bed was when I needed to go to the toilet, and that was it. So day 1 went, day 2 went. He was coming in the morning and in the evening just to check the baby, check the heartbeat. Day 3 went. By day 4, guys, I was told, okay, madam, you are no longer allowed to get out of bed. You are going to do everything that you need to do in that bed. I'm like, what do you mean everything? So can I at least go to the toilet? They were like, nope. Then they told me that they're going to put in a catheter. I will write it here. I forgot the name, but it's catheter, something like that. But yeah, I'll put the name right here. So they installed that thing. So basically that thing, when they put it in, whenever your bladder becomes full, your pee will just go into that tube and into the bag. When I feel like the bag is full, I've been peeing, my gosh, because yeah, so the nurses would come and change the bag every now and then when it gets full. But now the unfortunate part is that it does not help with number 2. It does not help with number 2, guys. So every time when I needed to do number 2, I had to ring the bell, call the nurse, and ask for a bucket, because I had to do everything on the bed. And thank God I was alone in that room. My goodness. Yeah, so I was in a single room, a private room. I was alone. So I would ask for a bucket, and then I would have to do number 2 on the bed. Like the nurse would show me how to move around, how to sit on it without moving too much, you know. And then she would go out, and then she would tell me to call her when I'm done. So when I'm done, then I would have to ring the bell again so that she comes and takes the bucket, and yeah. Oh, guys, it was embarrassing. I don't want to lie. I had never felt so embarrassed in my life. But you know what? God bless those nurses, because guys, nurses go through a lot, guys. So fine. Yeah, I was so embarrassed, but I felt, you know what? There's no need to be embarrassed. These nurses have seen far worse than what I was doing. That's what I told myself, just to console myself a bit. But then, but fine. So by day 4, I was doing everything on the bed. I was bathing on the bed. So every night they would bring me water in a bucket. So then a nurse would just come and help me. She would bathe me, guys. Hey, yo. Hotukas is so tohola otladibona, guys. Yo. So she would come and she would bathe me. Like at that point, I felt like I was just this sick person who couldn't do anything for herself. But anyway, yeah. So they would come and then they would bathe me, and they would change my my clothes and so forth. And then come day 6. Okay, yeah, but it was on a Saturday. On a Saturday, the doctor arrived in the morning. So he normally comes in the morning and in the evening. And normally when he comes in the morning, he would normally find me alone because, yeah, my boyfriend would normally come around 10-ish. Yeah, but he came every single day. God bless his soul. He came every single day, that man. But yeah, so the doctor arrived that Saturday, and that day he did not check the baby. And I was asking myself, what is going on? So he pulled a chair and then he sat down next to me, next to my head rather. And he told me that he has been consulting with other doctors, that he has been talking to other gynaes, and unfortunately all the people that he had spoken to told him that the situation that I am in, it's not something that it's not something that would end well, because he was saying should the baby be born, he was saying the baby's lungs were not fully developed. The baby was basically not fully developed at 6 months. So he was saying that should the baby be born, chances are the baby will be born deformed, guys. Like when I got to say maybe. So that is what he said to me, that yeah, the chances of this baby being born normal are slim. And the longer that baby stays in your tummy without water, the higher the risk for you. So he was basically telling me that I'm at risk of dying, guys. And I was like, yo, okay. I was like, okay, what are you saying, doctor? So then he told me, unfortunately, there is nothing that they can do for me. The only thing that needs to be done was just to abort the baby. Like he told me that the only thing we can do now is abort your baby. We must take the baby out. And then he was telling me that since you're still young, don't worry too much. You can still try again. I'm like, ayo, yo, try again. I'm like, is this doctor hearing himself? Like, man, okay, I'm still young, I can try again. So you're just going to abort my baby, Jay. There's a heartbeat there that you have been seeing on a daily, and you yourself have been saying that this heartbeat, it is strong, it's getting stronger, and today you're telling me that you want to abort my baby. Yo, guys, I've never been so crushed in my life. Like, yo, I was feeling angry, I was feeling sad, I was feeling confused. Like any bad emotion that you can think of, that was me at that moment. That was me at that moment. I was like, what is going on? What had just happened? So I spent this whole week here for absolutely nothing. I'm like, yo. So fine, then he left, but before leaving he told me that yeah, we're going to abort the baby. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do for you at this hospital. I'm not going to name the hospital. At this hospital, they have never delivered a baby at 6 months, so no one here is willing to take that risk. I'm like, yo, okay. So now guys, and then he left, and then he told me he will come back later to do the deed. Fine. Now after he left, like guys, when a doctor, an experienced doctor, a professional, someone who studied medicine, who understands medicine, when someone like that tells you that there is nothing that can be done for you, whomst are you? Who are you to question him? That's how I felt at that point. Hore, how can I question this man who is a doctor, a fully qualified doctor, telling me that there is nothing that can be done? Who am I to tell him how to do his job? Like, I felt so defeated. Like, yo, Neki Fedile mat. Like, guys, like, wow. So then, yeah, he said I must call my boyfriend, the father of the baby, and my parents, just to let them know what's going to happen later. Fine. Then after he left, I sat there for a few hours, like 2-3 hours before calling, because I just wanted to comprehend what had just happened, you know, because yeah, like I felt like a bomb had just been thrown at me. But then after a few hours, then I decided to call my boyfriend. I called him and I told him what the doctor had told me, basically. And he was like, I'm on my way. He hung up. He did not say anything. He just said, I am on my way. Fine, sharp. And I was not even crying. Like, you know, when you are so confused, like, okay, you don't know how you feel. Like, I did not know how I felt. Like, I was just so confused. Like, I was just sitting there, no tears, nothing. I was like, but God, like, I prayed for this baby. Like, I prayed for that baby so much, guys, for so long. And so he then told me that he's on his way. Fine. And then I called my mom. And then, okay, but before calling my mom, my boyfriend arrived. And then when he arrived, I told him, doctor was here this morning. He told me 1, 2, 3, 4. He told me that unfortunately there's nothing that they can do for me, for us rather, and they're going to abort the baby. Like, capiche? Like, yo. So my boyfriend was like, the first thing he said, he was like, no. Like, straight up, no. They're not going to do that. I'm like, but they're saying that the baby is going to be born deformed. Like, the baby is not fully developed, you know? And he was like, no, there's a heartbeat, I guess. And the baby has 5 fingers and 5 legs. Not 5 legs, 5 toes. And yeah, so he was like, you know what? If that baby is born deformed, so be it. Deformed. And he told me straight up, we will love that baby. We will love that baby with everything in us. We will take care of that baby. They are not going to abort that baby. I was like, yo, okay. I called my mother. I told her, yo, mother, doctor says 1, 2, 3, 4. They're saying that they want to abort the baby. And my mom was like, palesa, ska bua ka sekgowa. Ba batla ho bolaya ngwana batho bao. Ba batla ho bolaya ngwana palesa. Ke yo, mother. That's what the doctor says. And my mom was also like, no freaking way. He is not going to do that. What's the plan? Like, what's going on, guys? I need that as well, because after what the doctor had told me, now I had lost all hope. I don't want to lie. Like, I just felt so defeated. I had lost all hope. I'm like, these people, all right, fine. So then my boyfriend, fine, after telling me that no abortion is going to be happening, he then started making calls. So who are you calling? What's going on? So then he was calling, and he told me that he was calling his sister, his cousin from Bloemfontein. We were in Welkom. So he was calling his sister who is based in Bloemfontein. Because apparently the sister is well connected, she knows people. So he was on some, no, I'm gonna call my sister, I'm gonna tell her what the doctor said, what's happening, the whole situation. Fine, he went outside of the room to make the call, and I was busy talking to my mom. And then my mom told me that she's coming as well. My mom, mind you, she was at work. My mom also was at checkups, and at work, Lenka lunch around boy 11, 12. But my mom was like, I am coming right now. She left work and she came to the hospital. And when she got there, Liana, she was on another level, on some, that doctor, that doctor is not gonna kill that baby. There's a heartbeat there. That baby's alive. We are not going to abort that baby. I'm like, yo, okay. Like I think, had I not had Batuba strong jwalo at that moment in time, I would have just given up, guys. Like, I don't know. But yeah. So then my boyfriend then came back. He told me that I spoke to my sister, ne? My sister is making calls that side. And then her sister, Tato Mabilo, oh, God bless her soul, guys. I pray that God blesses that woman abundantly, because that woman, she left everything she was doing and she made the calls. She called a doctor by the name of Dr. Ngomezulu. He's a doctor in Bloemfontein Mediclinic. So she called him, and then she explained the situation to the doctor. And then the doctor that side, he told her to tell us that we must come to Bloemfontein immediately, because apparently he had delivered a 4 months old baby. And that baby made it, guys. Like, that baby made it. That baby is alive. So he was like, the doctor that side in Bloom, Dr. Ngomezulu, he was like, no, it's not gonna happen. They are not going to kill that. They're not going to abort that baby. Bring that woman here with that baby. I will handle that case. If they can't do it that side, bring her here. And I was like, yo. Okay, so then I call my doctor, my GP. Dr. Ngomezulu, he's a gynae here, straight up gynecologist, like experienced, you know. So I call my GP. I told him, hey guy, actually no, I did not call him. I waited for him to arrive. And then when he arrived, then I told him, we are not going to go through with your plan, you know what you want to do. We're not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen here. Not today. It's not happening. So guy. So there's a doctor in Bloemfontein who is willing to take my case, who said I must be transferred from Belgium to Bloemfontein immediately. So fine, my GP then decided to call the doctor first before transferring me to explain my situation. And then Dr. Ngomezulu was just telling my GP or a guy, I'm saying bring that woman here. Don't explain anything to me, just bring that woman. I got a case illustrated, bring her here. Case closed. Fine, so then Sunday morning, that is when I was transferred to Bloemfontein. Got into an ambulance, packed my shit, packed everything, and got into an ambulance, and they took me to Bloemfontein. Yo, guys. Now when I got to Bloem, I will tell you about what happened in Bloem in part 2. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be on the lookout for part 2 of this video. Thank you very much for watching.